Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, March 23rd. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. You can expect a high of 83 degrees in San Antonio today. The next chance for rain rolls in Wednesday night. President Joe Biden's economic advisors are preparing to recommend spending as much as $3 trillion on efforts aimed at boosting the economy, reducing carbon emissions, and narrowing economic inequality, beginning with a giant infrastructure plan that may be financed in part through tax increases on corporations and the rich. The Express News is still accepting nominations for our 2021 Top Workplaces competition. Any organization with 35 or more employees in the San Antonio area can participate. Head over to expressnews.com to learn more. And now let's move on to our top stories for the day. A Native American group is appealing its claims of discrimination at the Alamo in a federal lawsuit that ultimately could be settled by the U.S. Supreme Court. The Tapilam Cualitecan Nation contends that the Alamo Trust has violated its rights by excluding it from a role in the handling of ancestral remains and by denying its members access to the site for ceremonial observances. Chief U.S. District Judge Orlando Garcia in San Antonio dismissed the suit last year. Tapilam now has the support of the Lipan Apache Tribe of Texas, which is asking the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans to throw out Garcia's ruling. Scott Huddleston has everything you need to know about the case over at expressnews.com. Photos released by a Texas congressman offered the first glimpse inside a crowded Customs and Border Patrol facility where the Biden administration is housing migrants. Dozens of people, including small children and teens, crowded into makeshift rooms with clear plastic walls, lying on padded or stone floors covered with silver foil blankets. The pictures, courtesy of U.S. Representative Henry Cuellar, offered Republicans more fuel as they keep the heat on a president whose approval rating has buoyed by the progress on COVID-19 vaccinations and a popular stimulus package. You can see photos and a more detailed look at the border situation in Benjamin Werman's latest story. After several postponements, jury selection resumed Monday for the long-delayed capital murder trial of a San Antonio man accused of shooting a police detective nearly 5 years ago. Otis Tyrone McCain is charged with killing Detective Benjamin Marconi, a 20-year veteran of the San Antonio Police Department. Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez is seeking the death penalty in this case. Elizabeth Zavala takes a closer look at the difficulty of seating jurors during a pandemic in her latest article. Since Dr. Larry Schlesinger took the helm in 2017, Texas Biomedical Research Institute has gotten twice as many grants and contracts and raised more than $30 million. It recruited 13 faculty members and started a 10-year plan that led to more than $40 million in construction projects across the 200-acre campus that is home to a biosafety Level 4 laboratory. These early investments allowed the institute to be prepared when Pfizer and BioNTech needed safety and efficacy testing for the first COVID-19 vaccine approved for emergency use by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Schlesinger, president and CEO of Texas Biomedical Research Institute, has been named the 2021 International Citizen of the Year by the World Affairs Council of San Antonio. Laura Garcia has more about Texas Biomed's work in the last year in her latest article. You don't have to be born in San Antonio to rock the vibes of a native, but there are a few activities you should experience to be recognized as Puro San Antonio. Head over to expressnews.com to check out the ultimate San Antonio bucket list. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside of your Express News subscription. CPS is suing two natural gas suppliers it alleges jacked up the prices of gas by up to 1,500% last month as the city-owned utility struggled to keep San Antonians' lights and heat on. With the positivity rate for the coronavirus the lowest it's been since the San Antonio Metropolitan Health District first started tracking it last April, local leaders are urging people not to toss their masks yet. After postponing the voluntary return of its workforce on 3 occasions because of rising COVID-19 cases, USAA is giving it another try. The San Antonio Insurance and Financial Services Company plans for employees to return to its offices this spring. A group of Texas lawmakers is taking up a bill Tuesday that would extend Medicaid coverage to mothers through 1 year after childbirth, a move that maternal health experts say could save lives. Gary Kane, who 3 years ago was convicted with ex-state Senator Carlos Uresti in a scheme to defraud investors, has asked a judge for his release from federal prison. Kane cited his declining health in making the request that his sentence be cut to time served. 6 additional women have filed sexual assault lawsuits against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. The Pro Bowl football player now faces 13 lawsuits in total. CPS Energy's hopes that state lawmakers would cut the utilities bills from February's power crisis are likely dead. Now, CPS is hanging its hopes on a lawsuit it filed last week against ERCOT. Some experts expect that effort to hit a wall too. U.S. Representative Philemon Vela, a South Texas Democrat, announced on Monday that he will not seek re-election in 2022, saying that after his 5th term in Congress is up, he believes it's time for someone new to fill the seat. As clean energy technology gains ground, a new energy security concern is taking center stage. Where once national security officials watched oil supplies, they are now tracking the production of certain minerals. With the coronavirus pandemic roiling the economy and home sales and prices rising in San Antonio last year, house flippers pulled back on buying and reselling properties in the area. The flipping rate fell 27.3% last year, according to Atom Data Solutions. March is Women's History Month, a time in which we reflect on the accomplishments of women and the work that lies ahead, a reflection that should occur year-round, writes the Express News editorial board. Check out their latest editorial over on our website. Among the military memorabilia and team awards displayed at the Levi Rogers Real Estate Group office hangs a photo that humbles the owner each time he sees it. Inside the frame, a rugged U.S. Army Special Forces A-team looks out from a distant post in Helmand Province of Afghanistan. The image was taken on September 15, 2009, just hours before a moment that took a devastating toll on Rogers' life. Each day, the first thing he does is stop at the wall. Then he places a palm below the photo to remember the 3 soldiers and an Afghan translator who died while riding with him in the vehicle that struck an improvised explosive device. The former Army Green Beret suffered shattered bones and severe injuries that required 2 years of surgeries and rehabilitation. The memory of the fallen men drives every waking moment. Head over to expressnews.com to read the latest in Vincent T. Davis' latest San Antonio stories. Bob Willis shows off his cars at events, theme parks, and, through April 11th, at the San Antonio Museum of Art. The museum's show, titled Movie Metal, includes both of his Batmobiles, a Batcycle, a DeLorean from Back to the Future, an A-Team van, and the F1 race car driven by Tony Stark in a pivotal scene in Iron Man 2. There's a huge debate about the best way to produce a grilled chicken with the most juiciness and flavor. Chuck Blount tests 3 popular methods from dry rubs, brining, and injecting the bird to see what works best. Isabel Allende, the Chilean writer known for such works as The House of Spirits and A Long Petal of the Sea, has been added to the lineup for the San Antonio Book Festival. See who took home Player of the Week honors and check out the latest Express News area rankings in softball, baseball, track and field, girls soccer, and boys soccer. The Spurs are in the dog days of a season like no other, trudging through a second half that requires them to play 40 games in 68 days with 11 sets of back-to-backs. But thanks to personalities, perspective, and humor, their morale remains high. And that's all for today. This was your Express Briefing for Tuesday, March 23rd. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful day, everyone.